Kissing. Do-do. Do-do. All right, hey. Hey, how's it going? How's it going? Rant and Chill, Mr. Deadman here. Gonna be talking about some interesting things tonight, some spicy things tonight. Just, gonna be going into the COVID vaccine. All right, how it's pretty much being mandated. It's being forced, and whether you like it or not, to come into your door to give you the prick. Biden wants to give you his prick. Wants to prick you. Okay, that's gonna happen. We'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about I got a bunch of stuff. Let's see. Oh yeah. Hold on. We're gonna talk about Halsey. Talk about her. That'll be kind of like just chilling right there. Just chilling with that. Okay. Then you got Ashli Babbit. Her name has popped up again for a significant reason. So let's just get into this. Oh, and I got some other, I guess, bonus to talk about. Maybe we'll get into the amazing atheist bad take on borders. But I doubt. We'll see what time allows. Anyway, so let's get this started with you know what? Let's do something chill. Let's talk about Halsey real fast. Now, okay, I'm not a huge fan of Halsey. Okay, I don't listen to her stuff all the time. In fact, I listen to mostly metal, Japanese metal. I mean, if you see this channel, you know exactly what I listen to. But I found this interesting. Let me go put this on the screen here. Let's see. I had it ready. Okay, here we go. So yeah, Halsey was trending because of this. This is the edited version, I guess the censored version of her new cover art, whatever. And I would normally not talk about this. It doesn't really matter to me. Big deal. New album coming out. Okay. I like some of Halsey's stuff. I listened to it. I was like, okay, I get the appeal, and she's pretty hot. So I get why people like listening to her and watching her. But this is cool, actually. I think. I mean, look, it's very often you get it's very often that I feel anyway that you get a message of just that's against motherhood, that's against even bringing a child. I mean, you get people, especially like celebrities and I guess musicians, whatever, that are very active and vocal about pro-choice, and usually what that means is pro, zapping that thing. But so when I see something like this, that's I think celebrating paternity, celebrating motherhood, I'm like, hey, that's cool. That's cool. Now, the reason why she's doing it, though, I think, is because of that, which she's pregnant, and she's going to have a child pretty soon. This is not her child in the picture. This is just a painting. She was holding someone else's child during this. I don't know what happened with that child, though, right? No, but so she's, I don't know when she's due or anything like that, but she's pregnant. So she had this painting done to celebrate that she feels like her body has been everybody else's but hers, because when you are a performer, when you are a musician or artist, what you will, that's kind of what happens, right? Like your body becomes everybody else's, like the industry's body. That's kind of gross, kind of nasty. So I found that interesting. So that's the chill part, I'm sure. Let's see what else to say about this. I got some notes written here. Let's see. Oh, had this. This is her statement on it. The album's called "If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power." This album is a concept album about the joys and horrors of pregnancy and childbirth. It was very important to me that the cover art conveys the sentiment of my journey over the past few months, the dichotomy of the Madonna and the whore, the idea that me as a sexual being and my body as a vessel and gift to my child are two concepts that can coexist peacefully and powerfully. Well, that might be a problem. We'll talk about that. My body has belonged to the world in many different ways in the past few years. And this image is my means of reclaiming my autonomy, establishing my pride and strength as a life force for my human being. Really abstract. The cover image celebrates pregnancy and postpartum bodies as being beautiful to be admired. See, you can tell that she's kind of lefty, you know. I'm sure, I don't know anything about her, but the way it's written, postpartum bodies is like, instead of just saying women, and pregnant women being something to admire, Anyway, we have a long way to go from eradicating the social stigma around bodies and breastfeeding, and I hope this can be a step in the right direction. The stigma of breastfeeding, I don't have I guess some people do have an issue with breastfeeding. Every now and then be like, can you please, like, not here? But like, I don't have an issue with breastfeeding. I see a woman breastfeeding. It's like, it's whatever. I notice it and try to not like notice at the same time. I'm like if I notice it, it's like, okay, I'm not gonna make sure not to look in that direction, because can you imagine as a mother having to breastfeeding in public and having people just stare at you? It has to be horrible. Because people are looking. People are looking. Why are they looking? They could be looking because they might just be looking in that general direction. People, look around when they're like at a restaurant or whatever while they're talking. Not really much to look at, right? But could be looking to get a view. Could be looking to talk about it or whatever. Because that's what people do in social settings, right? Pretty much commentary on what people see around us. It's that's great. That's what people do. Yeah. So the thing I said that might be an issue was the idea, her going to the idea of me as a sexual being and my body as a vessel and gift to my child are two concepts that can coexist. Okay, now the idea of Halsey as a sexual being and that her body being a vessel and gift to her child, well, I suppose so. I mean, I don't know what she means by sexual being, though. Is she talking like she'll still participate in orgies and stuff? I have no idea. There comes a time after a child, especially after two, that the orgy life, the party life, it's not for you anymore. You got a kid to take care of. Hell, you might, especially when you have two, shit. When you have three, definitely ain't for you anymore. Can't be doing those party favors. CPS be coming in your life. That child be going to somebody else. Anyway. So yeah, I want to talk about that real fast. Now let's get into this. Now, Ashli Babbit. Well, I want to talk about Ashli Babbit because her name came up recently, came up today because of this. Let's play this. I'm gonna lower the volume real fast.
Just to clarify, who should be the arbiter of what's hate, what's offensive, what should not be published, what goes beyond free speech? And because so much of this, your banning has to do with comments you made around January 6th, just to clarify further, what did you do to stop the insurrection, as some people call it, and why were you not able to stop it?
So that whole event, unfortunate event, just went through Congress and a report was issued and my name wasn't even mentioned. And I appreciate that. I was surprised, frankly, because I would have assumed that they would have come up with their typically biased, at least on the Democrat side, statement. The report came out, as you saw, 2 weeks ago. My name wasn't even mentioned. That was an unfortunate event. I say, though, however, people are being treated unbelievably unfairly when you look at people in prison and nothing happens to Antifa, and they
Which is
burned
true.
down cities and killed people. There were no guns in the Capitol. They burned it except for the gun that shot Ashli Babbit, and nobody knows who that men were. If that were the opposite,
I'll pause this real fast. So in case you don't know, this press conference was when Trump announced that he's pretty much going to be, he's doing a massive lawsuit against Google, Twitter, Facebook over free speech because they won't bring it back on. And people say, oh, but they have the right to do that because of their free speech or because they're a private company, they can do that. That argument's pretty much done, I think. Anymore, you need Twitter and Facebook and Google to communicate with people. That is essentially a utility at this point. So once it becomes a utility like that, no, they can't just throw them off. They can't just throw them off like that. But we'll see. We'll see what the court decides. We'll see what the Supreme Court decides because it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting on that. Let's see. So a lot of things to talk about here. Well, first off, let's start with Ashli Babbit. Trump is right about this with Ashli Babbit. If it was the other way around, if Ashli Babbit was the name of somebody during the summer peaceful protests that was shot by a cop during a peaceful protest, then the officer shooting that Ashli Babbit, oh yeah, his name would have been everywhere. His name would have been everywhere. Everyone would have known him. He probably would have been tried or something. Probably would have lost his job. I don't know. Something would have happened. That officer would have been under heat. You know that. But you just look at how they talk about this. I mean, and the reason why I have the Among Us stuff on the imposter on this thumbnail is because I might have to be careful how I talk about this. I might have to code this in Among Us language. I don't know. So, but the way they talk about the January 6th situation, riot, insurrection, it's like so crazy. They will call that an insurrection, which is like, okay, all right. So what? You had some. There wasn't anyone armed there. There weren't any armed people there. No one had. There weren't any guns there, at all, and it wasn't like some planned thing. Well, hold on. I'll get to that. Meanwhile, months before that, you had months of rioting, looting, burning of cities in the name of George Floyd, in the name of Black Lives Matter. You had many people killed, many officers killed. It's crazy. People throwing Molotov cocktails in the cop cars, willy-nilly. Okay. People breaking into people's homes. Breaking into buildings. Beating people up. Near death. R2 death. Oh, but that's nothing. That's nothing. And going back to what I said about not being planned. See, here's the thing. And I'm going to be called a conspiracy theorist on this. I'm going to be called all sorts of stuff about this. The interesting thing about what happened on January 6th is that they make it seem that it was planned. They make it seem like it was planned. They make it seem as if like Trump was involved, that Trump told his followers, his MAGA supporters to go storm the Capitol, which is far from it. Not even true. They tried to try him on that. Didn't work. They used doctored videos. You could compare because it would show the one video and they'll show the prosecution will show their version of the video and it's like it skips moments in it. And it's like, well, that's weird. Why would you do that? Why would you alter the video that way? It makes no sense. Besides, I covered like that moment that day on my other channel. I mean, I saw Baked Alaska there. I saw a bunch of lunacy and stupid stuff there, but it's crazy stuff. It's crazy stuff. But, they're trying to make it seem as if he was the master of it. No. In fact, if anything, the conflict at the Capitol was happening during Trump's speech. Trump didn't even finish speaking while the conflict happened. Huh. That's weird. I mean, if Trump told them to do it, why were they already doing? Why weren't his supporters listening to him speak? That's weird. I mean, it was far away. It wasn't really that close. Huh. Now, this is the part that people will be like, oh, Mr. Deadman, you're a conspiracy theorist, whatever. Once I say these words, and then let me just tell you, you have to DuckDuckGo it yourself. Don't Google it, okay? You use something else. Look up John Sullivan. Okay? Look up BLM Antifa January 6th. Look that up. Don't read the articles. Okay? Just look at the images. The images taken from that day, and start asking questions. Why are these individuals there? Why are these individuals that were known by the FBI, being followed by the FBI, arrested and released? Why is this person, John Sullivan, a known Black Lives Matter leader, Black Lives Matter member, Antifa member? Why is he involved? Why is he there? Why is he recording the execution of Ashli Babbit and then selling it to the media? Why is he there? What's his purpose? What's going on? And then now, the other thing you need to take a note is that it is not unlike Antifa to go and go covert operations, if you will. They've done that before. They've done it in the past, and they're going to do it again. They have adverts out there where they actually ask their people. They ask their people to be ready to go. Let's see if I have one of those things. They have flyers where they will tell their people. They will tell their people to dress up as Trump supporters. You can go see it yourself. Why would they do that? Oh, why wouldn't they? Oh, man, just think of the chaos they could create. Just think of the freaking chaos they could create. Oh, man, it'd be great. It'd make Trump look bad. Because they really hated him. The stuff I'm saying is true. John Sullivan was there. There were other known Antifa people there. Why were they there? And there's an image that they left like so toss around where it shows like what the window that was broken into. If you watch the video, you'll hear people say, no, that's Antifa. We need to stop them. We need to stop them. And if you look at the people that are breaking the window, look at how they're dressed. Take a close look at how they're dressed. They're black blocked. They are dressed up for riot. They're dressed up in a way I've never seen a Proud Boy dress up. They're dressed up in a way I've never seen like a MAGA hat guy dressed up. Okay, I'm just saying there was some weird shit going on there. Because the people, think about this. Why would the people break the window, go into the building, and not vandalize anything else? Why would they not vandalize anything else? Yeah, they took some stupid podium and they were on Nancy Pelosi's phone. Okay. Her laptop was gone. Pff, good. Good. Okay. I do find that funny. No. I'll say that it was dumb that everyone followed in, that the crowd went in to the Capitol. The whole thing was really stupid. Bunch of MAGA morons. That's what I said. The next day, got them all a bunch of MAGA morons. This followed suit. You know? Thank God they didn't vandalize the stuff and destroy the stuff. Supposedly, there's some people that died there, but the officer that died didn't die there at all. And, you know, it's weird. It's like, okay. I know Ashli Babbit died. I know she was shot by a cop, by Capitol Police. She wasn't armed. You know, she was in the building. She ran up to the door and poof, she was shot. And there's people that are celebrating that, like, oh, you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. Okay, that's really cold. That's really cold. I mean, you could say the same for, like, you could say the same thing for any gangbanger that gets shot for supposedly holding a handgun or just having a cell phone in his hand or maybe a toy gun. And it's some black kid would get shot with a toy gun in his hand. You say the same thing for Breonna Taylor for having a drug dealer boyfriend that had a gun right there. And he kind of knew what was going to go down. Come on. But it's cold. It's harsh, man. It's cruel. It's bullshit. Now, there's something else I want to say. See, some of you guys might have got the wrong impression of me right here, hearing me talk about this. You might think, oh, Mr. Deadman's like a super Trump train guy or whatever, or Mr. Deadman's like pro-government or whatever. Probably not that. I'm not pro-government at all. Like, what happened that day? What happened that day was something that even those on the left wanted or want to do, but just haven't done it yet. I need to correct myself. They haven't done it again. Because I don't think they need to. See, Ashli Babbit is considered a domestic terrorist by some of these lefties, but what they don't understand is, and they tie her to Trump and say Ashli Babbitt's blood is on Trump's hands and all this stuff, which is goofy because really the blood should be on the police that just let Ashli Babbit in. You think about it. How did Ashli Babbit get into the Capitol? She got into the Capitol because the police let them in. They opened the barricade and they opened the doors. There's only, how many people went to that window? That's so stupid. The whole thing was dumb. The whole thing was an op. I mean, they could have had much more security there. Where was the security that they had during the Antifa and BLM riots? That stuff. Where was that? Where was that? That was gone. And it's not like, what's her name, Bowser, the mayor didn't want that. She wanted that. She asked for National Guard, and she wanted the police to be heavily armed and with heavy machinery, heavy machine guns. But she just didn't get it. I wonder why. And I wonder with this January 6th commission what they're going to find out. Yeah, let them explore. I want to know. I want to know what went down. Why did the police before the crowd even went super riot through? You can see there's videos of this. Before the crowd actually started going against the barricades, there's a couple officers that threw tear gas in there already throwing stuff in there. Anyway, what was I say? Oh yeah, I guess my thoughts on the whole thing. I guess. The January 6th thing was something that the left wanted to do. But they have done it before. They have. I don't know if you remember or know this name, Susan Rosenberg. But Susan Rosenberg is a domestic terrorist. She bombed the Capitol. She, with the help of her domestic terrorist friends, bombed the Capitol. This happened. You probably not have heard about it too much. It was 1980s. 1980s? Yeah, 1980s. Part of the M19, a domestic terrorist group led by, all the members were women apparently, led by a woman too. And they did not like America. So they wanted to send a message. Well, they did. This group, this M19 group, is also associated with the Weather Underground, which is another domestic terrorist group. And the Weather Underground is also connected with Antifa. They're all kind of connected. So it's very interesting. The more you read into it, the more you see how they're intertwined, or at least connected in a way. But Susan Rosenberg, yeah, she did some time. She did 16 years. But her sentence was commuted by who? Bill Clinton. Oh, Bill Clinton commuted the sentence of a domestic terrorist, of someone that tried to take over the government or destroy the Capitol building. Like, why? Why would he do that? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. What good reason is there? It is Bill Clinton. Maybe a blowjob wasn't on the table or under the table. I don't know. Maybe there's something more. Maybe there's a connection. Why? Why would you release a domestic terrorist from jail, from prison? Especially when that domestic terrorist blew up the Capitol. That is weird. Think favors? Maybe sending a message? I'm not sure. Not sure. Gotta tell you. All right. All right, let's move into this. Biden announces door-to-door outreach to boost vaccinations. This is going to be great.
In today's briefing, we discussed how our administration is going to devote the remainder of the summer to a special focus on 5 ways to make gains in getting those of you who are unvaccinated vaccinated. Because here's the deal. We are continuing to wind down the mass vaccination sites that did so much in the spring to rapidly vaccinate those eager to get their first shot and their second shot, for that matter, if they needed a second. Now we need to go to community by community, neighborhood by neighborhood, and oftentimes door to door, literally knocking on doors, to get help to the remaining people protected from the virus. Look, equity, equality, it remains at the heart of our responsibility.
That equity and equality, they don't really, those two words do not go together. They don't mean the same thing. Equity and equality do not mean the same thing. So Biden wants to do a door-to-door outreach to boost vaccinations because some people just aren't getting their vaccines, which is their choice. My body, my choice, right? Right? It's funny how that doesn't work here. Why does that not apply? Oh, but you got to think about the health of others. I really don't, actually. I don't. Oh, that just means you're an asshole. So be it. So be it. I guess so. But first off, we're talking about COVID. COVID's something that, oh my God, I got to be careful. I talk about this. But you could go look at the CDC numbers yourself. By age, it's compared to, it's not. Okay. Most people recover fine. But guess what? A lot of people are vaccinated now, which is supposed to help them. Okay, there's another variant out, but knowing how viruses mutate, it's usually they get less deadlier, they just become more contagious. So, all right, we'll see. What we're gonna say? Oh, those that wanted it already got the vaccine. So now you want to go door to door to force people to get the vaccine. Force them by annoying, pestering. Because you can't legally, not in America anyway, forcefully jab someone with a vaccine unless they're like some sort of CIA experiment. So they're just going to go door to door and mess with people. I mean, think about this. I mean, they bribe people with Krispy Kreme donuts, which is weird. Like, you think, hey, take the vaccine for your health, but also here's a free donut. Diabetes munch. I mean, do you not care about that? I guess not. Diets, obesity. Oh, that's right. Body positivity. See, it does. It's goofy. When the donuts didn't work, well, then they did joints. Hey, in California, they're doing joints. You can get a couple joints if you just get that prick. Take that shot. Yet, there's still not people taking the vaccine. I think, what is it, Arkansas or Alabama? Which one? Where you can enter your name to win an AR-15. Hey, that's cool. I'll take the shot then. Fuck. Why don't we have something like that here in Texas? I don't want a Krispy Kreme, but I'll take an AR-15. Thank you very much. And now they're just like, screw it. We're just going to go door to door. We're just going to go door to door. And there's people that praise this. There's people that are like, they want this to happen. It's like, if news broke out that the Biden door-to-door task force, whatever, forcefully injected people with the vaccine, there'd be people on the left that would just be like, happy about it. Be like, oh, fine, good. They need that. Good for them. You got to force them. Not understanding what's like, the illegality of it, the ethical issues about the whole thing. It's just so stupid that they would cheer that on. They would. It's crazy to me. I'll play more of this.
Of ensuring the communities that are the hardest hit by the virus have the information and the access to get vaccinated. So, as we shift from these centralized mass vaccination sites where we're doing thousands of people a day, we're going to put even more emphasis on getting vaccinated in your community, close to home, conveniently, and a location you're already familiar with.
You're going to have to go to communities. See, I think they understand that, okay, there's another thing that was trending today. But the Vax That Thing Up, Juvenile, the rapper, back that thing up. Where he did the Vax That Thing Up, a cringy rap on the back that thing up to send a message, right? Yet another artist that I guess probably took some money from the government. Someone paid him to do this, to come out with something to try to get people to get the vaccine. Motivate who? Motivate people who listen to rap. Okay, I'm just saying. Look, there's information out there. You can Google it yourself or DuckDuckGo, the whole thing, where minority communities are just not getting the vaccine. I wonder for what particular reason. It's not like the black population was used for experimental drugs in the past. It's not like that ever happened. But, so they have good reason to. So really what's happening here is the Biden administration is going to go door to door to the black community and forcefully, or I guess, pester to where they can just jab people with the vaccine. They ain't going to want that. It sounds kind of racist, too. It sounds kind of fucked up. What? Let's see. Napalm sticks to kids. Fun fact, state and federal government is exception to the HIPAA and can access medical records in times of crisis. Yeah, so they'll know that Mr. Deadman is non-vaccinated. And they come to me and I'll be like, no, I refuse. I don't want that. And I have people in my family ask me why. It's like, I'm not afraid of it. I just don't want it. I don't need it. I'm okay. I'm good. My wife had COVID. I didn't catch it. I slept in the same bed next to her, with no mask on. With my dick out. I don't want to go into TMI, okay? I'm just saying, I didn't catch it. I'm good. And I've had worse things than COVID, I'm sure. Shit. Did he see me a couple of months ago or a couple of weeks ago where my eye was blood red because I drank too much Jameson and I puked out my guts? Yeah, I've done worse things than have COVID. Anyway.
First thing we're going to do, this includes 42,000 local pharmacies where folks with questions can talk to the pharmacists they know and already have dealt with.
So they can go and talk to the pharmacist. Can they ask the pharmacist what the ingredients are to the vaccine? I remember that viral video. But the nurse is like, yeah, take a look at this. Normally there's a list of ingredients and instructions if there's an side effects or something, but there wasn't anything with some of those. I don't know if it was just a one-time thing. You got to be careful when you talk about this. Trust your doctor. I guess go to your personal doctor. Okay? Don't listen to some drunk, cigar-smoking asshole on the internet. Talk to your doctor. And if your doctor says don't get it, then trust your doctor, I guess, right? Man. Shoot. So, relight this thing. I do like these scars, though. Undercrown, shade, Nicaraguan tobacco, Dominican Republic. It's pretty good, though. Pretty good. Almost has like a creamy honey taste to it. Nice. What else to say about going door to door? Oh, going door to door for vaccines, that's a good way to get shot. Any pharmacist that's going door to door, they're not sending the pharmacists. They'll have to send in like the National Guard to do this, because otherwise they can get shot. And I don't know how I don't know how brave like certain people in certain communities would be if a National Guard showed up on your door to give you a vaccine. There might be some stories that come out from this. Just follow up on it. It could be some interesting situations. Yeah. A lot of just know those aren't fireworks. They could not have done this during 4th of July because it'd be too much cover. It's just people don't want it, they don't want it. And I don't want to sound like an anti-vaxxer, whatever. But like it's your constitutional right. It's your American right. Like if you don't want it, if you don't want the vaccine or any medical procedure, whatever, it's your choice. You have that choice. And thank God for that. Thank the founding fathers for that. My body, my choice, right?
These locations overwhelmingly
Let's see if he says
allow
anything
you
else.
to walk in without an appointment, get the vaccination when you're picking up your prescription or just going in to get your toothpaste or something else you need from a drugstore. Second, my team is going to place renewed emphasis on getting the vaccines to more and more family doctors and healthcare providers so more Americans can get the shot at their doctor's office from the folks that they know and they trust the most. Third thing we're going to do, we're going to step up efforts to get vaccines to your family doctors and other doctors who serve younger people. So the adolescents ages 12 to 18.
He's really focused on that teleprompter. It must be like giant print.
Can get vaccinated, and as they go for back to school checkups or getting ready for the physicals they need for fall sports. Fourth, we're also intensifying our efforts to meet people where they are, outside of their neighborhoods, pharmacies, and doctor's office. This includes continuing to work with employers to make vaccination shots available at work, on the work site if possible, or give their employees paid time off to get vaccinated in a nearby facility. And fifth and finally, we're sending out more mobile clinic units out there to help people at special events, summer festivals, sporting events, as well as places of worship wherever we can find people gathered.
Oh, great. So they're going to catch you at your church. Great. So you go to church, it's a Jesus day, you're praying, and all of a sudden this health mobile unit shows up. Whoop, whoop. And the police come up, they come out. Are you vaccinated? No, but I'm praying. Leave me alone. It's like, come on. What hits you at church? Hits you when you're at the park running, when you're working out. It's like, I don't want that when they're going to go to the gym. Come on now. This is silly. This is silly stuff. Look, man, if this thing was like some sort of crazy, if the COVID thing was some crazy virus level of like a zombie movie thing, then sure, I would get it. But it's not. It's not that at all. It's not the bubonic plague. All right. I'm pretty much done with it. Most people are. It's like, what? I mean, everything's open. So here in Texas, it's great. It's been great for a while. It's been great for a while. It should stay that way. I was going to talk about. Oh yeah, okay. So critical race theory. I was going to talk about this because the teacher unions are doubling down on the critical race theory with Texas and Florida and a few other states that are trying to go against it. And all they're saying, if you, I swear, man, the news, it lies so much about everything. Like about the passing the voting laws. It wasn't about racism at all. There was nothing racist about the voter laws. All I was saying is you need an ID. There's nothing racist about requiring an ID. If there is, how is that possible? You tell me black people can't buy IDs? Don't know where to go get an ID? That's not even true. They know exactly where to get the ID. They know, and they can afford an ID. It doesn't cost much at all. I mean, here with the CRT stuff, the critical race theory stuff, they'll say stuff like, these states are, they're not wanting people to teach about racism in America. It's like, no. Like, look, I've been through the American school system. Here in Texas, I could tell you, you learn about slavery, you learn about the horrible past of America, you learn about that stuff. But what they don't do is they don't say, hey, because of the color of your skin, this, that, or the other. They don't look at everything through the prism of race, which is what critical race theory does. I mean, with that, they're going to be. Let's take a look at some of the curriculum here. Let's take a look at this. I think this is funny. Well, really kind of scary, actually, not funny. Let's take a look at this. There's a leaked document from an Iowa school system that shows teachers are forced to classify "Make America Great Again" as a type of racism and white supremacy. This is what we're talking about. This is just one example. There's many examples. Many YouTubers talking about this. Okay. This is the sort of stuff they teach when they talk about this stuff. When they teach critical race theory sort of things, it's going to be something like this. All right, so they'll be like, okay, here's the overt white supremacy, lynching, hate crimes, swastikas, KKK, the N-word. Okay, so I guess black people can't say the N-words either. I mean, what? Racial slurs? Okay. But wait. Racial slurs aren't just white supremacy. I mean, white people aren't the only ones who use racial slurs. Okay. They're not the only ones that have made up racial slurs. Okay. But that's not true. That's not true. Let's see, racist jokes. Oh, okay. Because when a black guy says a joke about Asians, that's what is that, white supremacy too? No, it doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. Burning crosses. Well, that's just a T for time to leave. Okay. Neo-Nazis. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. Neo-Nazis, white supremacy, lynching, sure. Hate crimes, yeah. Swastikas, yeah. But you get down here, in the covert white supremacy stuff, socially acceptable, is crazy. You're talking about like, "Make America Great Again," which is it's just a campaign slogan. It's about making America great again. It's because net appeals. It can mean anything. It can mean, sure, you can make it out to mean something bad, mean something loaded. Take us back to the days where women were in the kitchen, and I don't know. How is that white supremacy? Are they trying to make it seem where "Make America Great Again" is loaded and means back to the days of slavery? What? That's stupid. Who's thinking that? Shit. There are black MAGA supporters. There are black Trump supporters. But I guess that doesn't matter. Let's see. They have a bunch of stuff here that doesn't make any sense. Hiring discrimination. Anymore, I don't know. I'm hearing that that a lot of white guys are having a hard time with hiring discrimination, having a hard time. If if your name, depending on where you want to get a job at, if your name comes up in a resume or an application and it comes up and it's a very stereotypical white male, they're not even going to consider it. They're not even going to consider it. That's true. Look at this. Police brutality. That's what are you talking about? White police brutality? That's something that affects all races. It's not just it's what? Eurocentric curriculum. Eurocentric curriculum. Like, what does that even mean? Learning about Europe? Learning about the European history, the past? Oh, look at this. Phrases like, what about me? What about me? I'm not racist. What about me? Even that is covert white supremacy. You can't get out of this. There's no arguing out of it. You can't get out. You cannot get out of this using logic. Tokenism is white supremacy. White savior complex is white supremacy. Color blindness is white supremacy. What? So I have to see somebody as color. I have to see them as a color. And treat them differently because of the color? Or why? I don't understand. Claiming reverse racism is apparently white supremacy. Wow. So white people, when they're discriminated against because of the color of their skin, that's not a thing. Or if you complain about it, that's just white supremacy. Again, this is something they're teaching in Iowa. I mean, not making this stuff up. We're looking at it here. And you see parents of all different races, complaining about this, going to the school board and complaining about this, and rightly so. You see black families complaining about this because of the color of the, being like, my daughter's having to hear because of the color of her skin that she is oppressed, that she's held back. What? You have families, black families, Hispanic families coming out and pissed off at the school board, and the school board doesn't care. They don't care. Man, there was a school in New York, I forgot which one exactly, where they sent take-home assignments to the kids about how to gauge their white privilege. And I think the school didn't realize that most of their students in the school were not white, were mostly Hispanic and black. Minority populations made the most of it. So there was a lot of parents that are pissed off about it. That was in the news. Fearing people of color. I don't okay. Fearing people of color. I don't fear people of color. If I see somebody that looks that they could be suspicious, yeah, I fear them. If they happen to be black, okay. But that's racist. That's racism now. Racist mascots. The fucking mascot, dude. It's just a joke. Oh, you can't even have jokes anymore. Oh, but look at this. So overt white supremacy is racist jokes, but saying it's just a joke is covert white supremacy. Okay. Housing discrimination. Yeah, so that's one example. That's part of the curriculum there. And these teachers are doubling down on this stuff because like I said, many states are pushing back, and rightly so. Pushing back because they don't want their kids, they don't want the kids to be taught to be racist. And that's what critical race theory is going to do. Critical race theory is saying, looking at situations, looking at their education through the prism of race. I mean, look at, okay, this student is white. Because you're white, you are the oppressor. And this student is black, you are the oppressed. You're victimized. And other minorities, okay, you're victimized. And so what it'd be like, instead of going through the history of America about slavery and all that, it'd be going through the history and saying that it is that white kid's fault or the white kid is to blame for it. It's like, what? That's not even true. That's not even true. It has nothing to do with that. Yep. I heard that too, that the school board is going to try to call CPS. That, you know what? Let them do that. I say let them do that, but they're not going to get away with that. They want to take it to that degree. They want to take it to that level. There needs to be plenty of lawsuits, lots of lawsuits. Here's the thing with CPS. Reporters are anonymous. They're confidential. But that's it's to protect the identity of the reporter, so that there's no retaliation. So it's hard to get the information about who reported it. But it sounds like they're being very brazen about this. Let them be brazen about it. Let them say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to go ahead and report you about that." Okay. Fight those cases. You got to. This we're in an interesting time. Mm-hmm. The way this is going, if you find out that your school is really bad in this, then I would say pull your kid out. Look into private schools, homeschool, if you can. Here, this article's talk about it. I read a little bit of it already. Union will defend teachers in critical race theory fights. So it says at least 6 laws have passed, laws limiting how race can be taught in the classroom. And I read the one here in Texas, that bill. All it's saying is that you can't teach that one race is superior than the other, which is fine. What's wrong with that? Are inferior than the other either. Okay. Similarly, proposals are being considered in more than a dozen others. Many of the bills are intended to bar the teaching of critical race theory, an academic framework that examines history through the lens of racism. It sees that everything is racist, pretty much. It centers on the idea that racism is systemic and the nation's institutions, and they function to maintain the dominance of white people in society, which you could bring up examples like redlining, back in the day, whatever. Sure, fine. But now, no. Current day America, well, I don't know about, I was going to say current day America is less racist than it was decades, centuries ago. But I don't know, with the current climate now, with kind of like further dividing the blacks and the whites, pretty much dividing that, creating more division. I mean, last year, the meme of race war was happening, and that was real. It was like, come on. Like, it's good to learn about, it's important to learn about the past, learn about history, but I feel like some of the stuff is just redigging into a wound that isn't going, like, you're not going to heal the wound with money or with reparations. You're not going to heal it with tearing down statues or renaming stuff, but that's what they're going to do. I mean, that's what they have done and continue to do. Last month, Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed a law forbidding schools from teaching that people should feel discomfort, guilt, anguish, So forbidding schools from teaching that people should feel discomfort, guilt, or anguish, or any form of psychological distress because of their race or sex. No. The law forbidded teachers teaching that people should. No. See, the way they made it seem is like, oh, no, you can't feel discomfort because your race or sex. Okay, that part is true. And then that's fine. That's exactly it. You shouldn't feel discomfort or guilt because of your race or sex. See, here's the thing. They kind of expose it here. They want to teach the white kids that they are evil oppressors and the black kids that they are just victims, constant victims. That's what's going on here. And it's like, that's not helpful. That's not going to help kids. How's that going to help a bunch of 9-year-olds? You tell a class of 9-year-olds that because of the color of their skin, they're either oppressed or oppressors. You're pretty much setting up, dude, you're going to lead to more bullying or lead to more harassment, hazing, fights at school. Dude, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be a good environment at all. There's been a psychological study on this before. What is it called? The school teacher with the eyes. She gave her class a kind of controversial experiment, really. Separated the students by eye color and told them that one eye color is better than the other, and the kids ate it up. And the kids, next thing you know, where they set up, and when they're in recess and play, it was the blues are gonna play with the blues, the browns are gonna play with the brown eyes, and we're better than you, whatever. And it was like, and of course she swapped it. One day it was like the blue eyes were the good eyes, were better, and then the other day was like the brown eyes were better, and it had an effect on the kids. Had a real effect on them. I mean, think about this. We're supposed to be concerned about mental illness, right? And this theory is how is this supposed to help with mental illness? Imagine all the self-loathing and confusion. Man. Let's see. In an interview. Okay, so it's marked by words. Our union will defend any member who gets in trouble for teaching honest history. You could teach honest history. You could teach about the history of the slave trade. And if you do, you're going to start off with Africa, where slavery, where the slaves are bought, where they were enslaved over there, and they still have that to this day. Oh, slavery's been abolished. That's right. Slavery doesn't exist anymore, right? But yet, I mean, there's still African slaves. I mean, there's still slaves. I mean, you buy. The Middle East has them. Yeah, slavery's not been abolished. Let's see. It's just on a black market. That was not intended. You know, I was thinking, am I going to talk about Japanese metal today? I will talk about that tomorrow. And I will talk about race. I know it gets uncomfortable. It is. And this is where we are. This is where we are, man. And it's going to be even more uncomfortable when it gets uncomfortable because it's like it's just sowing more division. How does it help with unity? It doesn't. Anyway, and in fact, if anything, what this is going to do, what CRT is going to do, if the teachers get their way, the unions get their way, and let's say it becomes a thing, what it's going to do, it's going to sow the seeds for minorities to want to pretty much revolt And that's the thing. I know it sounds like hyperbole, but think about what they're teaching. And compare this to Mao, to how in China, how Mao, what the schools were teaching the kids during Mao's ruling. Okay, or compare this to what you can make the comparison to even like the Hitler Youth, what they were teaching. But when you teach students that based on your race, based on your skin color, you're inferior, or not inferior necessarily, but you are oppressed, and that all these systems are against you, you're not going to succeed in life, you can't. So what's the solution? You're not teaching what the solution is. You're teaching what you're reinforcing them this idea that their whole institution and environment around them, the nation that they live in, is ultimately against them. So then what comes next is they go, okay, well, so what's the solution? Eventually they're going to come up with what's the solution? What's the solution? It is they're going to lash out. They're going to want to destroy the system. But that's by design. I think it's by design. Or maybe that's just hyperbole. Maybe that's just way too far. Maybe that's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen anyway. Because honestly, I don't see how the CRT stuff is really be taught in schools. Not for long. I'm pretty optimistic that this stuff continues to be taught. And it's just going to be like the blatantly racist stuff. That stuff is going to be identified by parents. And they're not going to be having it. They're not going to be having it because the kids are going to talk. The kids are going to talk to the parents, talk to other kids, and it's going to get out, and they're going to retaliate. And one thing about Americans is that we're very passionate. We're very passionate. When we feel like our kids are being messed with, But anyway, I hope so. I hope I'm right there. So, let's see. I think I'll wrap this stream up here with that. I think tomorrow I'll talk about something more fun. Anyway, you guys take it easy. Have a good one.